Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living in Northern California. We're so excited to have Eric back on the show. Today, we're going to talk about basically, we've been getting a lot of people relocating here from different areas, different states, Bay Area, and I know that there's certain things that people need to know about moving, especially when it comes to like jobs, because not every to work remote. So today we're going to talk about that and really get into a little bit more detail as to what to expect if you're moving out of the area and over here to Northern California. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Great. It's good to spend time with you both again.
Of course, Eric. Thanks for coming on again. We appreciate all your information. Like Rose was saying, I mean, we get calls from people all around the country, right?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of questions out there. For instance, we have a friend that reached out to us, and she's a traveling nurse, right? And she's wondering because
From New York.
yeah, can she qualify for a home out here? Because she does want to make it permanent, but right now she's just a traveling nurse.
Yeah. And then we do have people who are not working remote, moving from different states. So, being able to explain to them or just give them a heads up, of what they need job wise to move out here and what they need to prepare for all that.
So the biggest thing for clients that are relocating, in our opinion, is getting their financing approved in underwriting ahead of time. That eliminates a lot of risk, a lot of the unknowns. It allows us to review their, financing, their job, their ability to qualify ahead of their relocation.
What does that entail? Like, what do they have to do to get their finances in front of an underwriter?
Yeah, so generally when somebody wants to buy a house and they need a mortgage, the minimum threshold is that they have to be pre-approved. And that means somebody at a lending institution has done some sort of cursory review of their income, asset, and credit documentation, and they feel that once they locate a home they want to buy, that the lender can fulfill getting them a mortgage. We take things a step further. So by getting a client's loan in front of an underwriter, a human being at the bank that actually makes the decision on approving a mortgage, especially for clients that are relocating, like if they have a job in a new area before they move, we can get their loan approved with a property to be determined. That gives them a lot more assurance that when they're making a significant life decision to relocate and they want to buy a new home, that things are basically in place once they locate a home. Now, many people have situations where maybe their employment isn't lined up yet. We'll go through all the different iterations based upon somebody's specific scenario to help make sure that they can get financing right away or as soon as possible when they relocate and mitigate or minimize any potential risk.
Yeah. So let's say, someone wants to move here from the Bay Area. They don't work remote. Let's say they are a school teacher and they're going to look for a job, or let's say they're a nurse. They're a nurse in the Bay Area. They want to relocate here to, like, let's say the Roseville area. What do they need from like a job relocation standpoint to be able to buy a house? Like, do they need to be working at the new hospital for a certain amount of time?
Well, if they already, and that's a great question. It's really kind of case specific. Like if they have a new job that hasn't started yet, but they have a official offer letter, it may not relate specifically to nurses, but in other positions or similar positions, we can get people loans, get them approved for a loan if they have an offer letter for a new position, even if they haven't started yet. For those that are looking to relocate but haven't yet located employment, one possibility may be to buy the property as a second home. There's all sorts of potential options. It's really going to be case specific. But the thing is the best advice for prospective home buyers is get your ducks in a row ahead of time. Don't wait to have these conversations. They have to be had anyways. The earlier you do it, the easier it'll be to get things to be the way you want.
Yeah, I think you have a lot more on the line when you're coming from, out of the area.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea to have your ducks in a row. Be prepared, know what you qualify for. And then when you have that, let's go look and go find the perfect home for you. But it's hard to look for a home, find something you love, and then realize I didn't have my ducks in a row. And so that's great advice. Let's touch on to get in front of underwriter, what documents will a possible buyer need?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's very similar to getting pre-approved. So an application, which with our bank can be done online, it's mainly a questionnaire. It takes about 15 minutes to complete. And then some basic income and asset documentation, pay stubs, W-2s, maybe tax returns, depending on the situation. And then a couple of months of bank statements. So pretty straightforward. So the steps to get pre-approved, beyond that, it's a couple forms that we need signed to technically underwrite a loan. There's no obligation, no fees to do it. We get the documents for the pre-approval, and then after that's done, we send the loan file into our underwriting division for an underwriter to review. So it's pretty simple, very straightforward. But
and then what kind of numbers are you going to give them once it's been approved, pre-approved? Are they going to be able to see how much they qualify for, interest rates, all that stuff? What can they expect?
Yeah, monthly payments, interest rates, loan program will be specified, down payment amounts, closing costs. A couple of really important things for people relocating is most in different regions in the Bay Area, in California, in other states, different parties, buyers, sellers, pay for different closing costs. So it's really important for people that are buying in our local market here to know what they're going to be responsible for and how much those are, including things like recurring property taxes. Property taxes are based upon the city in which somebody buys. So it's really important for buyers, especially people relocating to the area, to know what to expect. And then kind of piggybacking on the underwriting piece, in our market for so long, it's been, a seller's market. So there's been a need for speed for buyers, meaning they have to be able to act swiftly and quickly. So if somebody's pre-underwritten, that's helpful. And then just getting everything as much done ahead of somebody finding a home really helps them give themselves the best chance to buy.
Yeah. Some of the things that I also have been hearing people ask about is they're worried about like credit checks.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference between like a soft credit pull? I've been hearing those words thrown out more recently. So
yeah, like a soft credit pull is one where basically it doesn't impact somebody's credit score like a hard inquiry. A hard inquiry is one that banks actually use to approve a loan. So if you really want to get a comprehensive real approval, you need to have what they call a hard inquiry. The good news is that if somebody has really strong credit, one inquiry is probably not going to make any sort of significant impact on their credit score. Moreover, from a home buyer's perspective, if they're serious about buying a home and they're trying to really do this, it's important that they also have an understanding where their credit's at from a lender's perspective. So it really kind of benefits both sides. It benefits the lender because they need the real credit report, and it benefits a buyer who's trying to seriously buy a home. Now, if somebody's kind of on the edge, they know that they have some potential credit issues and they're really concerned about how one inquiry might impact their score. Well, that's okay. We'll have a conversation with them, talk about what concerns they have or things they know that maybe we don't yet. And we can talk about how to improve that situation. And maybe that might be a scenario where maybe we do a soft inquiry first just to get a sense of where things are, and then get a full hard inquiry when the time is right. So again, we're very flexible in this. We're going to always customize things to how a home buyer's situation is.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been hearing a lot about so many programs out there. I want to bring you back on if you don't mind. The 2-1 and the 3-2-1 buy down program is something that I'd love to have you on next, and we could just break that down in detail. Do you have any questions?
I don't know. Yeah. This is all great information. Actually, one question which I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask is, Eric, how can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about getting a loan?
Yeah, thank you so much. The best way to get a hold of me is to call me directly. My cell phone number is area code 510-334-8847.
Okay, so if we get someone from Texas trying to reach out, can they still call you?
They can call me or text me. Yep.
Got it. So anybody around out of state could still get approval from you, correct?
Yeah, we lend in every state, and yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for answering all those questions. And again, if you guys have any questions, you can leave it in the comment. We'd love to keep this segment going and bring Eric back on and answer any of those questions. And if you guys have not yet, send a little love to that subscribe button, Eric. There it is. And hit that notification so you can be the first to know what's going on here in Northern California. All right, guys, enjoy your day. See you on the next one.
Bye.